What will you experience at a Knock'em Dead comedy murder mystery show? Suspense, excitement, love, more love, violence. Well, not really. And of course, some music. Knock'em Dead Comedy is the #1 murder mystery troupe, entertaining thousands of people for over 20 years.
You have a great night or what? Good.
Their hilarious murder mystery shows are full of audience interaction from beginning to end that will keep you laughing all night long. Their shows are not to be missed. Knock'em Dead Comedy's murder mystery themes include a mob show, a redneck wedding, a high school reunion, a family reunion with a luau theme, or your own custom show.
Johnny, you have a good time tonight or what?
Had an awesome time.
All right. She had a great time. KDC, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, all right.
Fundraisers, private parties, corporate events, restaurants, and more. Contact Knock'em Dead Comedy for your event today.
The Knock'em Dead Comedy Radio Show also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair, from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. So call Two Eagles Auto Body and ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527.
Behind the bag, it gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Hello, Tony. Mookie Wilson here, 1986 Mets. How you doing? Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, at Knock'em Dead Comedy Radio, man. I miss you. I wish I was still up there, man. But I'll wait till it warm up a little bit, and hopefully this year things will be a little bit better, man. But when we're talking about comedy, hey, the early years of Mets was a lot to laugh about. You had to make a lot of comedy off those guys. Hey, hope to see you guys during the summer, and hopefully you'll get back on the show, man, at some point in time during the course of the year, all right? All right? Yeah, fine. Contact me, man. All right, Tony. Talk to you later.
You wanna
party never ends. Knock 'em dead. Knock 'em dead. Comedy show.
Hey, man. Well, I'm just starting just now. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Knock 'em Dead Comedy Show here on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast Twitch channel. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying your Thursday. Any way you want, but I got you set up right here. John Ziegler's here. He just walked in. Very excited to see him. It's been such a long time. Hey, pal. Good to see you. You don't have to wear those if you don't want to. My mic is attached. That's the only reason why I'm wearing mine. They look cool? You need all the help you can get?
I don't have any hair.
So John is here. You're good? You need a minute? You need to
No.
No, you okay. Cool.
I didn't know they didn't work.
What, it's not working?
No, they just don't do anything. They just look good.
Come
Like
on.
a prop.
You don't really? You don't hear anything?
No, I don't think so. Say, talk.
I am
Oh,
talking.
Now
No?
that kicked in. I don't know
Oh,
what you did.
okay.
All right, there we go.
Magic. So how are you, man?
I haven't been here in a while.
It's been a long time.
Some renovation since I've been in here.
Yes. Yeah, well, who was I talking about it yesterday? Just saying how you used to, when you still lived here, you used to come in regularly, and you were kind of like an extended part of our family here.
I'm moving back.
You're moving back?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I had all sorts of flat lever jokes. And are you really moving back?
Yeah, June,
Okay.
June, July. I have to be at my lease ends July 1st, so I'll be back hopefully June, back on Long Island.
And what made you? Can I ask
Yeah,
what
ask
made you
anything.
decide to come back?
'Cause I live in Pennsylvania.
Enough said.
That sums it up.
Well, you went there in the first place because of your girlfriend. Is
Yeah,
it?
she has family there. She
Okay.
wanted to make a change. I was getting older, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm traveling a lot for comedy. Does it really matter where I live? I'm on the road all the time.
True.
Yes, it matters where you live.
Yeah.
And then you know my story. So I signed my lease and got sick 6 days after I signed the lease.
It was 6 days
yeah,
later.
like literally.
Holy shit!
Like,
I
I
didn't
signed
know
the
that.
lease, came home, and
And I'm assuming you probably spent a lot of time this way when you were going through the midst of all that.
I
'cause-
still am. I'm in New York.
Yeah.
I literally split my time between New York and Pennsylvania. I'm very lucky. I have a family here that's like my family.
Right.
And they have a place that I stay. So I have like a crash pad here in New York, which has made my life a lot easier.
And that's good because your mom needs somebody to take care of her feet.
Well, she died last February. So
Oh,
no
she
more.
did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Thanks, Tony. Yeah.
I'm so sorry, John. I didn't know that.
Yeah. My mother died. It's been a year already. It's crazy. My mother
Holy
died
shit.
a year ago.
I thought about it because it was in the special.
Yeah, but I don't tell anybody she died because I have good jokes on her.
Absolutely.
And it kind of brings the room down.
Yeah, but it did make me. I had no idea. So my
Yeah.
apologies.
Nah,
Okay,
that's all right. She was
but
100 years old.
you had a good run.
What are you going to live forever?
Wow. So and you still have she's fiance.
Yeah, we'll get married in September.
Oh, very nice. Congratulations. That's wonderful. And she's cool with moving here.
Yeah, I didn't think she would be, but she tried. You try things sometimes, and she goes, "All right, I tried it. It was cool, but like, I work a lot more in New York. I'm constantly
sure.
every week I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm like, I just got a gig. She's like, where? I'm like, oh, guess it's not Pennsylvania. Like, so see ya. So and my doctors are here, and I'm still, even though I don't have to go like I used to,
Yes,
I'm still
thank
at
goodness.
doctors an awful lot.
Right. And what does she do?
She works in it's like manufacturing, but her company's actually in Deer Park.
Oh.
So she works remote like 3-4 days a week, but she still has to be in New York 1 day a week. She has to go to the office.
Oh, so this works out for
So
her.
she's been reverse commuting 1 day a week.
Right.
Crashes with me when we're here, and it's become a lot. It's a long time. It's been almost 2 years now.
Wow.
It's
Jeez.
taken its toll. I'm living out of boxes here, and
Sure.
looking forward to getting a place on Long Island. And thank God, Long Island's so affordable. Holy Jesus.
Well, with Mom's passing, did you get the house or anything? Or
No, she lived in like you have to be 62 to live there.
Oh, okay, one of those.
Don't think I didn't try. because I turned 55.
Right.
So
Really? 55?
Yeah, 55.
Holy shit.
So
Yeah, I saw that in the special. You said 54. I was like, holy shit.
I'm eligible to live in one of the 55 and older communities.
Oh, that's crazy, isn't
But
it?
they're not a bargain either.
No,
Better
not at
than
all.
the- So two bed, like I looked in Farmingdale, over by the train station there. You know, they built all these
Yes.
2 bedrooms are starting at over 4,000. Starting. And then I'm like, well, we have 2 cars. I'm like, oh, you can get parking spots for $100 each a month. And I'm like, I got to pay for parking, $4,000 a month. You don't give me a spot.
And nothing against Farmingdale. It's nice, but it's not like Farmingdale. You know, like it's
No,
your
yeah, it's
typical
not.
middle-class town. Like,
It's not
what
the
do you...
Hamptons. I mean, it's
Right, exactly.
Farmingdale. You know,
My good...
they opened a Burgerology. It's not like, what's the big deal? It's all right. Have you seen Main Street? I go, it's a Croxley's Ale House. It's
Exactly.
all right. It's nice.
The Library Cafe. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the.
I've
So
been
I'm,
s-
I'm still looking. I don't know where we're gonna live.
Yeah.
We don't have a place.
I've been saying it for years. These guys, they should build the second floor on this place and just make it like 2 or 3 apartments. All these comedians, like, you charge them like, just a little less or or you pay them very little and have them take care of the place or something. Like,
You know, the Comedy Store had a house.
Did they?
Back in the day.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Mitzi had a house. I'd never been there, so I don't know the layout, but like up in the hill, she had a house when she let like her star comics that lived there. So it was like Dice lived there and Kinnison and all these guys lived in this house. Louis Anderson.
Right. Wow.
So it was not that far off from what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I know those are the stories I used to hear that Angel Salazar would, if he was doing a weekend, he would sleep in the green room overnight.
Yeah, but nobody knew Angel was sleeping in the green room overnight. He's kind of found him there.
Still stayed here.
Still stay here. So
Damn.
yeah, so I'm trying to find a place that I like. You get spoiled because I go to Pennsylvania, and even though I'm kind of shitting on Pennsylvania, I live in a castle.
Yeah.
My apartment, I have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and a gated community with a pool and a gym and a dog park, and it's like it's brand new. And I'm not gonna say what I pay, but it's
Definitely affordable.
It's almost a third of Long Island. Wow, like it's that much cheaper. So now, but you get used to hardwood floors and stainless steel appliances.
Yep.
And now I'm like, what is that, linoleum? Your linoleum's peeling up. Oh, a hot plate. We get a hot plate? Like that's kind of the stuff I'm looking at.
Yep.
For $3,000.
Yeah.
Because everything I look at on Long Island is not legal.
Right.
So guys like, I can't put in a stove.
Yep.
But they have you because it's just it's a
Because what else are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? So.
I back in the 90s, I bought my first house for $150,000, and I remember I had family in Ohio at the time, so I remember going out to Ohio and seeing what a relative had. What he had for $150,000. It was 2 acres, and I think 5 bedrooms, 3 baths. I mean, this guy had a mansion and all this property for the same amount of money that I was paying for a 60 by 100 piece of property in Hicks.
And he has the same drawback. Is the only problem is it's in Ohio.
Right.
That's kind of what where I live is nice. I don't live in the sticks. People hear Pennsylvania to think I'm wearing I am wearing a down vest, so I kind of look like I've assimilated. I should have like a trucker hat on right now. But where I live looks like Long Island. I live in a town called Bethlehem. Mm-hmm. I live across from St. Luke's Hospital. There's Lehigh Valley University. It's a young, built-up area, but there's nothing going on.
Right.
There's no comedy.
Right.
I mean, I have to drive an hour to do comedy.
That's insane.
So I do, very few shows. Mm-hmm. They have, for famous comics, they have like a casino up there.
Right.
But I'll see guys like, Chris Stefano. They're 5,000. I'm not playing there. They're 8,000 seaters.
Right, right.
There's no clubs. There's no governors
Right.
in the area.
And I think about that every summer, living on Long Island. Like, right down the road is a park where they have the free concerts and Jones Beach, and there's so much to do in the summertime. And to me, and being so close to the city, that I know it's a dump here and I know it's expensive, but and you have Governors and McGuire's, the brokerage. There's always something to do. There's so much fun to be had. You can't put a price tag on that.
No, and all my family or friends are here, and
Right.
I'm not a social butterfly. I'm a loner, but being away and then being sick, I've become way closer to friends and family.
I've been saying it. I had my battle too, and I know it's cliche. I know it's corny, but it really does put a new perspective on things. Absolutely.
Yeah, you think it would have given me you'd think so, wouldn't you? Like I'm still bitching about the same stuff every day. Like it didn't. I'm not like I don't wake up and smell flowers.
Well, no, but But it's nice to be able to get up and bitch about the same things. That's my point. It's nice to be able to complain about everyday shit instead of heavy shit like, is my time here.
I'm I'm grateful for my friends. I've become closer to, not that I wasn't close to my family, but we talk a lot more than we used to.
Sure.
And I miss it here. I miss doing comedy. I miss even food. It's just the restaurants aren't the same. And
Right.
I had shitty pizza and bad bagels. Like,
Right.
It sounds like stupid stuff.
It's not.
Yeah.
And we're glad you're coming back. This is great news. And speaking of which, the special is fantastic. Getting My Affairs in Order on YouTube. Go check it out. Hilarious. It's 47 minutes, so you can sit and enjoy it. The intro itself cracked me up.
Well, I'm the worst actor. I'm really one of the worst actors.
I thought that was fine.
I had one line and I played me.
Yeah, but there's even the narration where you're laying in the bed, just kind of. That's a lot of
37 takes for me to nod my head. So Brian McKenna, who's a really good comic, good friend of mine, played my doctor.
Yeah.
Brian can act. He's taken acting lessons. He's done some small films. He's won some little. So Brian played my doctor and had all the dialogue.
Right.
I just had to basically respond to his dialogue, and I was terrible at it. My friend Pete Sussy from high school, he has a company right out here by Gold Coast Studios called Platinum Platypus Production Company.
Platinum Platypus?
Yeah, but he's like a CGI company. They do visual effects.
Oh, nice.
But he works on major movies.
Right.
He did that as like a favor to me.
Oh, that's
he
cool.
He shot the sketch. He shot my special. I called him up one day just to see, like, I needed somebody to do it, and I called him to ask him, you know anybody who? And he I played the cancer card, and he's like, I'll do it for free for you.
See, that's the nice thing, too. You got that card. I got the leg card. I play it all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, I have to tell people about yours. You can just take your leg off.
And I have.
So I'm having surgery March 29th. From my surgery, I have a massive hernia.
Oh, wow.
Like the size of a football in my stomach. Like, you can't see it under this, but I have a wrap on right now, and it
wow.
It doesn't hurt. I just look like a monster. It's freaky looking. So I'm doing surgery March 29th, but it's a pretty extensive surgery.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to be laid up. I can't lift over 10 pounds for 3 months.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
3 months.
Yeah, long recovery because they're putting a whole mesh in here and
Oh, okay,
they're rebuilding me. And my port comes out.
Nice.
You showed me yours. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the same. Mine's in there still, but same scar.
Yep.
We're gonna look like some kind of like. We both have shaved heads and the scars, like we're in the Aryan nation. We have matching.
And I got something protruding out of me too.
So they're taking the port out at the same. And it's a psychological thing. The port, you don't even know it's there after a while. I don't think about it. I don't even feel it. Mentally, I just want to get the hell. I want it out of me.
Right.
I don't want to look at it.
It symbolizes that you're past this.
So I'll break the news here. So I had my scans on Tuesday.
Okay.
They take 5 days to get results usually. 5, whatever,
Yeah.
And the girl who did my scans watched my special.
Oh, that's wild.
And she kind of pushed. She's like, "Look, they take like an hour for the radiology. I'll push them through." So this is how cool my doctor is. 3 hours after I take my scans, the hospital's calling.
See, that would freak me out.
Yes. And I've been told she has an assistant. My doctor's awesome. She's a Monte Cancer Facility, of course, from LAJ. She's fantastic. But she has an assistant, a PA. Mm-hmm. He tells me, look, if I call you, it's a good sign.
Oh, okay.
I mean, usually it's cool. If it's a problem, the doctor's going to call you herself.
Right. Yeah.
3 hours after my scans, phone rings, and I answer, and I'm like, hello? She's like, hey, John, it's Dr. Levy. And I'm like, hey.
Are you crying already?
Yeah, and I'm like, it's all happening. She goes, I have some news about your scans. And then there's quiet. I go, okay. And she goes, it looks like you still have to get married. And I go, did you just American Idol me? You pulled one of those.
Right.
Like, how cool is that my doctor punked me about dying?
Holy shit.
And I just started laughing, and she goes, I watched your special this weekend. I have a joke in there about I'll get married if my scans are bad.
Right.
And so she watched it and decided it would be funny to kind of punk me.
Oh,
so,
my goodness.
My scans are good, and they're going to stretch out. I go every 3 months, and I have blood work like every 6 weeks. Like, it's a constant checking because of what I have.
Sure.
They're going to stretch out my scans to every 4 months.
Okay.
Not a big deal, but it's 3 a year instead of 4 a year.
Right.
And So
Any stretching out is a good sign, man.
Yeah, it's a good sign. So I'm trying not to get overly optimistic because it hurts more then. Once you start, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I still have to be mentally prepared that this shit can go bad.
Well, is it like breast cancer where after 5 years?
5 years I'm considered cured.
Okay.
But that's the good news. The bad news is the survival rate to 5 years with pancreatic cancer is like 11%.
11. I knew it wasn't.
Yeah, it's 11. Now
Great.
I had a Whipple surgery, which pushes me into a little bit because I was a candidate, but only like 10% are candidates for the surgery I had. So like normally what I have isn't very good. Like its survival rate is very, very low.
Right.
The Whipple surgery was the game changer because it didn't spread to what they call your margins. You know all these terms.
Yes.
And so everything was clean. They were able to remove it. But then if it comes back, it tends to be with more percentage-wise the first 2 years.
Okay.
So like if I make another 9 months, then my scans go down to twice a year.
Okay.
And then by year 5, no more scans. Wow. You're considered cured. But I can't jump ahead that far. But you do you understand as you get further away, you start to get a little like...
You can't help but get excited.
You start
Absolutely.
making... I like a year ago, I wouldn't make any plans past 3 months.
Yeah, sure.
Like I would book a show 6 months out. And I'd be like, oh, I'll call you like 2 weeks before to confirm because I may or may not be doing that show. But now I'm like, yeah, next year? Yeah, cool.
Right.
But you don't want to get that way because, like, I'm getting married, I'm moving home, I'm excited about my future.
Right, right.
And anybody who knows me knows I don't get too excited about too much.
Yeah, you're a low key guy.
Yeah, pretty. And that's my. Yeah, I'm not like depressed, but I wouldn't say I'm happy. Whatever that flat spot in between is where I spend most of my life. And lately, I've been actually happy.
Wow.
I have a lot of things on my plate, but this does change perspective in that way. I go, I'm worried about all this stuff, but
Well, this is your first marriage too, right?
it's my first anything. I've never lived with anybody before.
I was going to say we were all impressed that you just moved out of mom's basement.
Yeah. Well, she died.
That's why you moved.
Yeah, I just forced my hand. Living with Angel Salazar. I moved in with her, and I didn't know what that was going to be like. We have a 2-bedroom, and that's the reason I'm also paying more rent is I have to have a 2-bedroom, and we're on the same page.
Okay.
I think it's good for a relationship. Like I need my place to go.
Kind of. All right. So since it's an apartment, like you're saying, like similar to a man cave, like a basement.
It's a guest room, so that people come visit me. It's very nice. I got my 55-inch TV in there and a nice queen-size bed, and it's nice. But like, we keep different hours. She's a 9 to 5er, and I do this.
Right.
So like, I'm up till 2:30 in the morning. I'm putting movies on at midnight.
Right.
She's snoring in the other room at for 3 hours already. So like, I don't want to go to bed, and I sleep better alone. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's just
a
real thing, and she does too. And because she'll worry about keeping me up, so she'll wake up worried about me. So it really helps to have a separate room to go to.
Okay.
Like sometimes I'm on the phone. Comics don't sleep. I'm writing something with a friend. We're co-writing this thing. So sometimes I'm on the phone with him at midnight, and I need to be able to have a conversation.
Right.
I can't be like, okay, so and then in this next scene, shh. So I need 2 rooms. I think it's healthy to have.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And 2 bathrooms is nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially as we get older, we're in there more.
Yeah. So that's not a deal break. I can live with 1 bathroom, but I gotta have 2 bedrooms.
Okay.
That's important to me. Especially as sometimes comics come to do I produced a couple of shows in Pennsylvania.
Oh, nice.
And I had comics come up, but I ended up getting them a hotel anyway.
Right.
Just because it was a little crowded, and I really don't want anybody on my
So when you say your comics come up, you're saying like friends from here?
I had some Long Island guys come up and do a show up there. There's no comics where I live.
All right, that's where I was going with this. So I know you mentioned there's no governors, but even
not a big comedy scene. There's a few, but I'm new to the area.
Right.
There's a couple of guys I met who are like they're comics. And look, it sounds there's levels to this. So there's there's a little bit of an open mic scene, but I can't put them on.
Right.
They're not ready to do real shows.
Yep.
So like, there's a kid up there that I happen to. It's coincidence. He happens to live in the same town as me in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
But he's a good comic.
Okay.
This kid Tyler Rothrock, very funny.
Rothrock.
Yes, very funny kid. But he happens to live there. So like, I'm like, well, I can use Tyler. He can do anything. But I don't know. He introduced me to some other. There's a few, but it's few and far between.
Yeah.
And most of them come. They're not even. They're like come from Philly,
Okay.
which is still an hour from me.
Wow.
So, yeah. I have to recruit from
Right.
Long Island if I want to do a show.
Right.
But I'm not. I don't have a big budget. I'm not doing. They're not big shows I'm producing there. So now I'm like, hey, you want to come to Pennsylvania for $75 and I'll buy you breakfast?
And they're all saying yes anyway.
Yeah, they're all saying yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I only did a couple of shows. It wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
Because there's no money in it. I was just trying to kind of welcome myself to the Bethlehem, Pennsylvania comedy scene. But I kind of bailed on it after a while. I go, I'm too far in the game to be doing this.
Yes.
So
Agreed.
now it's the road.
Well, you didn't try the Dylan or Butera formula, just like finding like 1,800 comedians and doing a 4-hour show?
I would never. It's just not. I don't want to do it. I understand that there's a need for that for new
Yes.
comics. I don't want to do that. It's really hard when people would ask me to do those shows, and they'd be like, if you want to promote it, and I'm like, well, I just opened for Sebastian Maniscalco. I can't bring my friends to the back of a,
Right.
the back of a sports bar with 32 comics. Like I can't do it.
Yeah. Tartaglione was in here yesterday, and we were talking about that. How playing a great gig, one night, and the very next night you're.
And I'll do any gig.
Yeah.
I still got to work. It's a craft.
Right.
It beats an open mic.
Right.
It beats standing in front of 9 comics on their phones.
Yep.
To silence. So
Right,
I'll do
right.
that. That's cool. I have no ego. I'll do anything. But I can't promote it. And I don't want people to know I'm there.
Right.
I'm doing it.
Yeah, makes sense.
I'm not doing it for money. I like the guys, so I like hanging with other comics, but I'm doing it for stage time. I'm doing it just to, I can workshop on those shows because
Right.
I'm not worried about killing.
Right.
At McKeeby's pub and wherever I am. I don't really care how it goes.
I'm doing a set tonight at Long Island Glass out in Holtzville. It's a weed shop. It's a weed place. People actually sit and they actually smoke weed right there in the place.
Right.
So I'm like, I have no idea what to expect. And I've heard other guys say, oh, yeah, when I go there, I pull up a stool and I do my set. And I'm like, I'm sitting down? What?
I did anything and everything. I used to do the back of cigar places. There was one in Hicksville. It was like a smoke shop.
Yep.
And it's anything.
But at least they're smoking, but these guys are getting high. So I'm like,
I've done hookah lounges.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm like, half the shit I say is not going to register.
There was I think it was in Times Square. There was a ground. Remember the ground round?
Oh, yeah, of course.
There was a ground round, and it was one of my early shows. And I thought it was cool. Like, I'm doing New York. There's some fake mystique about New York City. I'm like, I'm doing Manhattan tonight. I'm like, I'm at a ground round. And I remember doing my set, and you remember skee ball? Is that how you pronounce it? You roll the ball.
Oh,
and
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
You get 100 tickets, and you get like an egg timer or a back scratcher or some shit.
Right.
I was doing my set, and they were playing skee ball next to me. So like as I'm bombing, you just hear like,
Yep.
and then it goes into the 50. I got 12. It's rough when you start.
Yeah. There's nothing worse than like doing a coffee shop, and they're running the cappuccino machines right next to you, and you can't even hear the comedian anymore.
Well, did you? I think it's before you were doing stand up.
Yeah.
Belmore Bean before you.
Oh yeah, with Les Deegan.
Les's room.
Yep.
I have very fond memories of that place.
Mm-hmm.
I met a lot of friends there, and we had a good crew. Like mics have the people who go to certain mics. We
Right.
go to different mics. You get this is who goes to this mic. For the most part.
Yeah.
We had and a lot of those guys aren't doing comedy. They got married, they had kids, business is rough. A lot of them stopped. But that was like a 4 or 5 year run.
Oh, yeah.
And Les is like the nicest guy in the world. So
Sure is.
I should have his demeanor with what I've been through.
Oh, yes.
I don't have a fraction of his joy. I don't know how he does it. He's just the happiest guy in the world.
And that attitude, I believe, helps you through anything, including something like that. I believe that helped me.
My comic friends helped me.
Yep.
Because they weren't compassionate.
But you need that.
Yeah, everybody would go, how you doing? I'm praying for you. And then the comics would call me up and like, can I have your Dunkin' Donuts joke? Like they were just ruthless.
Yep. Well, I was recently just telling the story on here where when I was sick 20 years ago and I would go to my oncologist, I would sit in the waiting room and I had the same oncologist as Belzer. He would come in, and again, this is before I was in comedy. I mean, I was doing dinner theater.
Oh, he had testicular cancer, right?
I believe that's what
that's
it
right.
was.
That's right. I
Yeah,
forgot
but
about that.
he just passed away. Well, like a
Yeah,
month or so ago. But yeah, this is going back 20 years.
Yeah, yeah.
That's when it all started for him. And if I was doing dinner theater at the time, but Still didn't have a lot of the experience, not even anywhere close to hanging out here. If that was today, I definitely would have felt comfortable saying something to him that wasn't, hey, how you feeling? And I remember that so well. Every time I would see somebody, once the news was out, people would give you that look, like, oh, here comes the dead guy, right? And immediately it's the, that sympathetic look that you don't want to see. And I just, back then, because he would sit there by himself, looking miserable and looking like shit even back then.
Belza looked pretty sick before he was sick.
Well,
he's always
true.
been he's tall and very thin. You
Right.
saw him as pale. Like, he never looked healthy.
Right.
So,
And I used to feel really bad for him, again, sitting there by himself. And I'm sure he preferred it that way. Even now you'll hear guys say he was a great guy, not, but same thing. He wasn't like this overly social guy, but still sitting there by yourself, it used to just really get me. Like, man, this poor bastard sitting there by himself. I would love to have been able to have the ability to say something that wasn't going to make him cringe or smack me across the mouth, But, that stuff is huge. You want that normalcy. You want to laugh.
yeah, the guys helped me a lot. And they don't sleep.
Yeah.
Like, Chris Roach was going through his own little medical thing at the
Yeah.
same time I was.
Right.
So he was in a hospital, not as long as but he was there for a while. But I was texting him like a booty call. It would be like you don't sleep. It was like 2:30 in the morning. I'd be like, yo, Roach, you up? You up? And he would just get back to me right away. He's like, what's up, Ziggy? And we would talk but you don't sleep in a hospital. 'Cause
No,
they check your
not
blood
at all.
pressure every 14 minutes.
Yep.
Everything in the hospital happens in the stealth of night.
Yes,
You know
it's
what I mean?
true.
They come in at 3 in the morning, like, we got to put a catheter in your
Right.
penis. And I'm like, now?
Right.
It's 3 in the morning.
They don't turn any lights off. They talk like
Yeah,
it's like
so-
it's noon, nice and loud.
And I was in a teaching hospital. So when the doctors make their rounds, there's like 19 people in
Great.
like a whole class in my room. Every morning I'd wake up, there'd be 14 people at the foot of my bed. And it was
Staring at your penis.
yeah, it was pretty brutal. Seems like 100 years ago. I've been sick. April will be 2 years since I was diagnosed. It's a blur.
Wow. Yeah.
2
It
years.
is a blur.
2 years.
And
this April.
It'll be nice when it's behind you that you have to. I mean, you're already thinking about that. You had to think, oh, April, 2 years. It's nice to be that far removed from it.
I'm lucky to be this far removed. I mean, I really
Yeah.
am. I
Yeah.
know that. Like, I should have been gone a year ago.
Oh my goodness.
I wanted to get my special. Was a big thing for me because when I was
Yeah.
sick, I said there was 2 things I wanted to do. One was I want to shoot a special because I don't really have. I'm not a social media guy because I'm old. So even though I love comedy, I'm obsessed with comedy. I have like 2 clips up on Facebook. Like, that's it. So I go, I got to shoot a special, and then I started writing all my cancer material, and I go, I'll do like some of my greatest hits, and I'll do all this cancer stuff.
Right.
And my friend Pete, like I said, Platinum Platypus. I keep giving him a shout out.
Oh, absolutely.
I did Jim Brewer's podcast, and I messed up the name of his company. I blacked on it. I'm like, Platymus Productions, Platinum Place. And he called me. He goes, dude, I shot your special for free. You can't remember the name of my company?
Well, at least you got it right here because we have the same amount of people watching.
Yeah, he was very nice to me, Jim Brewer, because I don't know him.
Yeah, that was actually on my notes here that he. So I guess what's the story there? Because I saw before you were on it, he just did like a shout out. So I guess he came across it somehow.
Brian McKenna's his opener.
Oh, okay.
Brian's been touring with him for like 6-7 years, and I sent him the clip, the opening sketch we shot where Brian plays my doctor.
Right.
Brewer walks by and goes, what the hell is that? And he goes, my friend John Ziegler is a comic. And I've actually opened for Brewer. I did the Wilbur Theater in Boston with him.
Okay.
My first feature spot ever was here at Governor's. I did 5 shows for Brewer. That was my first time I ever got the middle.
Oh, wow.
But, he meets a million of me.
Yeah, of
So
course.
he, like, recognized my face, but he doesn't really remember,
Right.
So Brian told him what's going on with me. And I love when they talk about me because Brian's always like, yeah, it's my friend John. He goes, how's he doing? He goes, I don't know. Like, he may not make it. Like, I'm like, why does everybody have me dying? Even Brewer did a reel of me, and he's like, he got cancer, and he's not going to live. And
Right.
I'm like, I might live.
I saw that. I remember thinking, oh, I wonder if there's something
Some
I don't
updates
know.
or so. Brewer's had his own struggles with his wife. Has been really sick for a long time.
Yeah.
She was actually, I didn't know that she was stage 4 and got into some kind of like trial, like a case study. These trials.
Yeah.
And it worked. And I think she's in. I don't know. I don't want to speak on it.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I think she's in remission, doing all right. But I guess it hit close to home. So he watched my special, which is kind of cool for me.
Yeah.
Because I grew up a Brewer guy, and
Yeah.
The fact that he's sitting in his living room watching my special and had, if you watched it, he had glowing things to say about it
Yes.
and pushed it. Really nice of him.
Absolutely. And that led to you getting actually on there, on the podcast?
That's why I got on the podcast.
Yeah.
Is he thought it would be a good guest.
That's
And Brian
fantastic.
kind of pushed it for
Yeah,
me.
sure,
Because Brian's
yeah.
friends with him, and he was like, "Let's get him on."
Right.
You know.
See,
I told him, I go, tell Brooke. I said, he's going to have me on, but he's touring and he's busy. And then it's like, yeah, we'll have him on. And then a month goes by, 3 months
Right,
goes by. And
yeah.
I go, do me a favor, tell Brewer, like, you may want to have me on soon. It's not really an open-ended. I don't want to be in memoriam. Like,
I was going to say they could talk about you by the time they do it.
so it was really flattering. It was kind of cool to do that he did
Yeah.
it for me. And it helped. It gave me a little bump.
Yeah, of
In terms
course.
of viewership, because he's got a big listenership.
Right.
I'm sure I'm going to go home and watch my numbers after this.
It might discourage you a little bit.
So anyway, that's I'm hoping to do more stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's nice.
I'm starting to get some weird road gigs that are not what I want to do.
Yeah.
They're like hospitals. I'm almost doing TED Talks
Oh, sure.
in a way.
Yep.
It's like comedy, but like anybody who knows me makes fun of me because I'm kind of a motivational speaker, and I'm like, I'm really not the most motivating guy.
Right. But it's interesting. I've done a few of those too, and it wasn't until the first one I did it at Hofstra, and it was fun, but I remember thinking like, why am I even here? But then you tell your story and you see the reactions. Oh, I guess I do have something to say. I guess there is something that's getting through, and I enjoyed that.
I don't know if I did anything I don't know if I did anything that's making me like that I lived. I tell my girlfriend, I go, I feel like I was in a plane crash and I'm the only survivor.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think there's a rhyme or reason. I don't think it's my positive attitude or you. People are like, well, you were really fit before. I go, you think how much I benched had anything to do with me beating pancreatic cancer? I don't think there's any correlation. That guy squats 280. I go, yeah.
So the doctor said squat 300 and you'll be better.
Yeah, so I think I just got lucky.
Right.
I don't think it's anything because like I was in the gym through chemo. I'm pretty like I'm a Marine. Like I'm pretty tough. Like I was putting on my sneakers and like wobbling to my car.
Wow.
And I'm like, I got to do it.
Well, I was too, but for different reasons. So I want to read this comment here from Chris Thomas. She said, it might be an odd comment, but John's Benefit was one of the most amazing nights of comedy. The comedy was killer, but to see the community and genuine family was incredible. He looks great. So wonderful to see.
That's really nice.
Very nice. Yeah, Chris Thomas is good people.
That was a really flattering when I had to do that.
Yeah, that was
Joey
that was
Cole,
great
Joey
night.
Cola hosted it for me.
Yep.
I had comics that said yes, but then got booked. They got booked and had to cancel, and they felt so bad, like calling me and canceling.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, you got to make a living. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Like I'll just get somebody. It was really nice. It meant a lot to me.
That was.
It was embarrassing though. I'm not a center of attention guy. Like you know me
Yeah.
well enough to know. Like
Yep, I
having
know.
all those people there for me was uncomfortable.
I think I'm trying to think who would love that kind of thing. Like anybody that's just even more social. I don't know. I'm thinking of Joey because he's friendly and he knows everybody. I would just think it would make the most social of people uncomfortable too because it's.
It's a lot of eyes on you.
Yeah.
And at the time, I thought I did think I was dying.
Right. And I
So-
think that was kind of that was out there at the time too. So I remember being that was right. Colin was here, right? That was on the Colin. Yeah,
Colin
right.
Quinn did it for me.
Right. And I remember. Yeah, that was in the air that night, and it was.
It was a cool night. We
It
sold,
was a
we
great
sold
night.
it out easily.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
packed, and
Yep.
and it was kind of a good show. It was a fun.
Oh, it was
show.
a great show. Yeah.
So Mick
Absolutely.
Thomas did it. You see, Mick's one of those guys. I mean, I've known Mick since I've started.
Right.
He started about a year or two before me, so we've kind of come up together.
Sure.
But this is what I mean how comics were funny. I didn't want anybody to know I was in the hospital. I kept it really quiet.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I'm in ICU because I had sepsis.
Right.
From an infection, and my bile duct, and I was running 106, and my phone just starts buzzing. I mean, like every 4 seconds, my phone's going, and I'm like, what the hell is? And I pick up my phone, and it's like prayer hands and muscle poses, and you got this, and I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
So I call my girlfriend. She's like, Chris Roach put a post up on Facebook, like praying for you and telling people. He didn't know, like it was. So I go, oh, good. The guy's on a sitcom with 18,000 followers posted about it, so everybody knows.
Right. Right.
Mick texts me. And it's very hard to have comedic timing in text.
Right.
So he texts me and he goes, Yo, Ziegler, heard what's going on? I was going to do it with an Irish accent, but it's not. My Irish accent sounds very Middle Eastern. It doesn't really. I'm not going to attempt it. Mate, there you go. That's the closest.
That's it.
Mate, I heard what's going on with you. And he's like, really sorry. He goes, if you need anything, please, anything, reach out to me. I have nothing but time. And I go, oh, that's really nice. I can't believe Mick reached out to me. I put my phone down, and then it buzzes, and I pick it up, and it says, unlike you. And I laughed so hard in ICU because I'm like, it was the perfect amount of beats between I have nothing but time, and I pick it up and it says, unlike you. And I'm like, but that, it's said with nothing but love. Like,
right,
it's not,
absolutely
and it made
right.
me laugh, and it makes me feel better.
People who aren't involved or have nothing to do with being in the comedy world, they don't get that stuff.
No, they don't. I came here one night. I was kind of on the road to recovery, but I was pretty sick. And I was coming back to visit somebody who was headlining the big room. Roach was headlining something in the gig room, Chris Roach.
Yeah.
So I had a tip he throw through the gig room. He's on stage. I don't want to interrupt the set. And he goes, hey, everybody, John Ziegler's here. Everybody, I guess, knows what's going on. Everybody's claps, and I wave, and I walk through, and I hear Chris whisper into Mike. He goes, I thought he died. I was, like, hysterical. And I told some friends, they're like, that's not funny. And I'm like, actually, it's really funny.
It is really funny.
Really funny. I thought he died. So.
Oh, that's right. I love that kind of
it's
stuff.
Hilarious. Anyway, I don't. Enough with the cancer stuff. We bored people enough with my struggle here.
I'm just gonna. I do have a couple of things with the. Well, first off, congratulations on the special. It came out really well, and I first off, I've noticed it's got like 88,000 views or something, which is phenomenal. But
my goal was 1 million. I'm being honest.
Hey man, 88,000. That's what? That's like 4 Madison Square Gardens.
You know, I look at it this way too: is people's attention span is very short. So when I see people get 1 million views on a reel, I go, well, it's 18 seconds.
Right.
I watch dogs and kids falling off things. I watch reels all day long. I'm not watching 40 minutes of it. 20 seconds, and even the reel sometimes halfway through, I'm like, all right, that's enough of that. Like, I can't get through 18 seconds.
Right.
So,
if you want to take each joke from your special and put it up as a reel, you'll get hits.
It's kind of the way to do it, to be honest.
I know. It makes me mad. But
I started that. I did like 5 reels, and they got, whatever. They did all right, but I'm going to start doing more.
Yeah. Well, hats off to Platypus.
Platinum Platypus.
Because what really struck me when you get into the cancer stuff in the special, you can feel it just from watching the special. You feel the change in the room. You feel how awkward it's feeling, how it is in that room, and how the audience doesn't know where to go. And it's a testament to you and to Platinum Platypus for keeping it in, even where you feel how, like, everybody's, oh, what do we do with this? Because it's not a laughing matter. But again, hats off to you. You made it funny, and you bring it right back up, and you feel that from watching the special. So I was amazed by that.
I didn't get to run. Obviously, I didn't get to run. The cancer material is 22 minutes out of a 40-minute. It's half of my special.
Right.
But I was sick. I didn't get to really run. I was on chemo right up to like 6 weeks before I shot that.
Yeah.
I didn't get to really run that. I wasn't working a lot. So I ran it twice. John Truson put me on, like, he had like a new talent night, and he goes, why don't you come down and you do like a half hour at the end? So he let me run it, which helped.
Right.
Normally you run sets over and over and over. So I kind of did that without a lot of practice time.
Yeah.
So I had I did a backyard party.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like it was like 30 friends. It was just friends and family, like 30 people. I had some kind. And Jordan Louderback, very funny if you know Jordan.
Yep,
hilarious.
Absolutely.
I went up and I did a joke about how if this goes bad, it's kind of a dark joke, but it was my thought process. Like, I was in a cancer hospital, and I watched people who they kind of told, like, you're going on hospice, like, there's nothing we can do.
Yep.
And I said, I'm not going to go out like that.
Right.
Like, I'm not laying in a bed at 100 pounds with a feeding tube, and I go, I'll have to kill myself, but I don't know how to do that. And I'm afraid of it. So I have a joke, if you saw, about I jump in front of a train, and I'm like, yeah, there's a 516. I'm going to get the 516. Like, I would never jump. I'd just be there all day. So it bombed in the backyard party.
Oh, wow.
And I come off, and I say to Jordan, I go, damn, Jordan, that joke didn't do very good. He goes, yeah, I'm really surprised that the joke about you killing yourself in front of all your family and loved ones didn't go over big. So they're not strangers.
Right.
Like I would look at my sister's crying in the front row of the show, and I'm like, all right, this is not a good audience to test this on.
Right.
So, again, at that time,
Because
at
it
the
got a
time-
big laugh in the special.
in the special, yeah,
Yeah.
those are strangers who were
Right.
like, yeah, kill yourself.
You know, and it's funny. Selfishly, it's funny you mentioned the new talent night. That was the night that I was doing Truson's show. I was a part of that class.
Oh, okay.
You came in and you sat down with me and you had your notebook and you were telling me because you knew what I went through. So you said I'm trying out this cancer stuff, and I remember saying to you, "You gonna do cancer stuff?" Like, and it's something I've thought about in the past, but I'm like, nah, I don't even give it a second thought because it's nobody's gonna laugh. But first off, I was honored because you sat down with me. You actually showed me your notes. I don't know if you remember this, and I remember I had to kind of get. I don't want to say starstruck because you're just John Ziegler, but there was an honor because I have a huge respect for you. Like you said, you came up with Mick. You've been doing this a long time. You're hilarious out there. So there was a part of me at first thinking, holy shit, John Ziegler is sitting here with me going over his new stuff. Like I was honored, I was shocked, I was thrilled, and I had to get past that and then really sink in what the material was. And thinking to myself, son of a bitch, only a guy like you can make this shit funny and funny enough to go out there in front of an audience. And then you did. You went out there to get the show going because the rest of us were new and bad. And you did. I don't think you did all of it, but you did a chunk of it. And I sat there listening as the place was freaking roaring. I was like, motherfucker! It's hats off to you because comedy is hard enough as it is, but then to take. Cancer and rape and abortion, like those are the things that everybody knows. You can't do it out there. You just can't. But you took that topic and you
can if you have cancer.
Right.
I get the best. Look, I've been doing this 15 years and I'm still figuring it out.
Sure.
Comedies are crazy how long it takes to be good at this.
Right.
Like the guys I look up to, I'm like, man, that guy's so good. And then I look and I'm like, well, they have been doing it 30 years.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? Like the guys that I look, the Colin Quinns, the Bill Burrs, the Louis C.K.'s, the Dave Chappelle's, they're all 30 years in or more.
Right.
And there's like a level and you see it. So like I find now, like when I have a tragedy in my, like something I'm experiencing in my life, I get the best material out of it.
Right.
Which was like my favorite jokes are when my mother got Alzheimer's, which I never use that word in talking about her.
Right.
She's just old.
Yep.
And when I got cancer. I wrote in volume that I don't normally write in. Normally I write a couple of jokes, but like cancer's, I'm up to 30 plus minutes on cancer.
Wow.
Which is almost like, I have jokes that aren't in the special I wrote after the special.
Sure.
That I haven't really tried because you can't do them as one-offs. I can't go up and just be like, I wrote this joke and just do a cancer joke and then be like, so I was at a Dunkin' Donuts. Like it doesn't really work.
Right.
You have to do it in context of this chunk.
Yep,
So I don't
absolutely.
really do them. I've written them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really weird thing though. Like I look forward to, I need shit to happen in my life to get material.
Well, yeah, you're getting married. So.
Well, that's what I told my girlfriend. I go, don't I write the best when I have, like, when my mother got Alzheimer's or I got cancer or we got engaged. And she's like, did you just lump?
Like all these horrible
all these
things.
So my new 10 minutes is about wedding planning.
Yeah.
And it's not hacky stuff. Like, I'm like, I've never planned a wedding.
Right.
And I'm anti-wedding. I find them nonsense. I've never been to a wedding in my life I've enjoyed. Brian McKenna's was about the closest, but she did it very non-traditional.
All right. So what was non-traditional about it? And then
It was like 60 people, 50 people. It was on the top of a restaurant.
Oh.
He didn't do all the, throwing of the thing and all the, first time it was just like, the dinner was excellent. It's this cool restaurant in Brooklyn. And it was like family style. Like they just put plates on the table.
Right.
And you just ate what you wanted, and the food was good, and it was kind of a chill night. It wasn't like I go to a wedding sometimes, and everything started happening. It's like stand up, sit down, toast, sit down, get to your chairs, go back to your table, dance, get on the dance floor, go sit down. I'm like, leave me alone. Speeches that nobody wants to hear.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm the best man. I'm going to do a speech. I'm like, well, my friends are professional comedians.
Right.
The funniest people on Long Island. I don't want to hear you. Then there was that time at 7-Eleven. I'm like, oh, sit down. They don't know how to hold a mic. It's like over here, so you can't hear them.
Yeah, true.
The cake cutting. I'm like, I get it. The cake's too big. It's never going to fit in her mouth. It's going to get all over her face. I'm like, it's hacky. Stop it. I don't like weddings. So we're not doing anything traditional.
Okay.
We're getting married at the place. It's going to be about a 12-minute, 15-minute ceremony.
Right.
And then bars open, and that's it.
Nice.
I hired a DJ and had clear instructions. You are not to speak.
Oh, okay.
Play music.
Right.
And have a microphone, because I might need it.
Right.
Or you may have to say, like, this is what the extent will be. I'll turn the mic and go, the buffet is now open.
Right.
And then shut your mic. I don't want to hear, come on, everybody, get on the floor. Like, I don't want to hear it.
Put your hands together.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
We're not going to get so John's going to do 10 minutes. So the marriage, am I right?
Yeah. My vows will probably be pretty funny.
Oh, that's cool.
I've planned some funny things for, like,
Right.
when we walk in. You know, we're really doing the ceremony. We'll probably get married at a justice of the peace. So we'll be legally married.
Right.
The
right.
ceremony is just a show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not
Yes.
real. It's like I can have, you know, I may ask Roach to marry us. I'm being very serious about that. I'm going to if he's coming, he may have work that night. You know.
Yeah,
you
true.
know, I understand it's a Saturday night. A lot of comics. I don't expect him to pass, you know, on $1,000 to come to my wedding.
Well, you do it, you know Mark Riccadonna, right?
Of course, yeah. I just reconnected with Mark after like 7 years
Oh, no kidding.
because he lives in Pennsylvania.
Right.
So I reached out to him. I'm like, hey, Mark, John Ziegler. It's been a long time. And he's such a great guy, Mark.
he's
that he was
great.
like, hey, Zeke. You know, he's got that, I can't do his voice, but
Yeah.
just always a good guy. And
Because, you know, he got married here.
here at Governor's.
Yeah.
Yeah, long time ago, though.
Yes.
Like long. I think I was just starting. I didn't really know Mark.
Yeah, I want to say like 18, 19 years ago or
Yeah.
something. But
I called him
yeah.
up and I was like, hey, I'm living in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I'm like, do you know any place that has comedy? Like,
Yeah.
And he's tried to hook me up with some people that he knows, you know. but
And he
he's-
knows everybody. It's
Mark?
crazy.
Mark was doing, I don't know how long, he was young. I mean, I started 15 years ago, and Mark had started several years before me. But he was always like a hustler and a networker. Like,
Yeah.
he knew everybody. And
Yeah.
he used to give me work when I first started. I was going into the city. Like, he was just a good guy. So it was nice. You know, I hadn't spoken to him probably 6 or 7 years.
That's crazy.
A long time. And I called him, and it was just kind of like it was yesterday.
So for me, to hear that he started before you was crazy to me because he's only
He was young when he started.
40 years old.
Yeah. But at the time, I thought he was like 20, in his young 20s, but I thought he was like, oh, he had a beard.
Right,
So
yeah.
he always looked a little older. And he seemed like he'd been around he seemed savvy. It's kind
Right.
of weird when I look back now. Like, what was he, 25?
Right. It's crazy to me. Like he doesn't look. He looks older than 40. Sorry, Mark, but he does. So I'm always shocked to hear that he's only 40.
I'm always happy because I'm 55 and I was really sick. People are like, you're 55?
Yeah.
55 with cancer, huh? You should see me
That's
2
right.
years ago.
That's right. And it's true though. You don't look 55 at all.
I'm getting there.
You know, Andy Plagano's just reminded me, which I totally forgot. We met the Platinum Platypus guys in here
Oh,
one
yeah,
night.
they came in.
I totally forgot about that. He
Right,
just reminded me.
Yeah, you met my friend Pete.
Yeah.
And Mark and, you know.
Right, and they hung out a little
The
bit.
rest of them were in.
Right. So was that? But that wasn't the night you filmed the special. At least I don't think it was.
I think it was the only time
Was
I've
it?
really been here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Must have been that night.
Oh shit! I didn't realize that. Holy shit!
Stan, TJ, Mark, and Pete. It's the 4 of them. And they all were awesome. And they shot my sketch. That sketch was cool because it looks like a hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like a warehouse in Yonkers.
Oh wow.
It's called Doc's Props. And they only shoot medical stuff.
Oh.
But they've shot like episodes of Nurse Jackie there.
Oh, okay.
And they've done, I think, a scene from The Departed.
Oh wow.
But you think, like, oh, it looks, you go online, you look at the pictures, and you go there, and it's an abandoned, like, warehouse in a sketchy area of Yonkers. There's loading docks when you go in the back, the trucks with the big gates that go up.
Yeah.
Everybody has murdered somebody who works there. Everybody. And you go in, and it's gross, but you walk through this warehouse, and it's just rows of hospital beds and defibrillators and machines, like tons of any piece of medical equipment you can imagine. Then you go to this back area, and it's like really disheveled, and by the time they set it up,
That right. The
it
rest
looks-
doesn't
it
matter.
Doesn't
Right.
matter. And
Right.
the guys were cool. They were very nice. They worked with us. You pay by the hour.
Okay.
You have to, you bring in your equipment. But I didn't realize, he told me how much it is. Pete's like, I called the guy, this is how much it is an hour. I go, okay, cool. What do we need, like an hour?
Yeah.
He's like,
sure.
7 hours. I'm like, 7 hours? It's a 2-minute sketch. And he's like, by the time we unload, set everything up, break everything down.
Right.
Like in my head, I have not done this. It's like a camera on a tripod.
Right. Right.
And
No,
I'm like,
you gotta
no,
check the
it's,
lighting.
yeah,
right.
it's a whole thing. So
Oh,
the setup
yeah.
was like two hours.
Yep.
But I'm like, time is money, baby. Can we hook this up? And action. So they did a great job.
Yeah, it really did.
And it was fun.
Yeah. And I don't want to give anything away, but you walking to the club, that visual,
That was kind of my idea to do that.
Hilarious. I don't want to say anything more unless you do. But
I don't care.
Because I don't want.
Now it's been out for a while.
Oh, all right.
Now I had the back of my gown was open, but I had underwear on.
Right.
Pete was really insistent that I was bare-assed. He's like, it's funnier, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think I want that.
And the public.
The public was clamoring for it. My special would be on OnlyFans if, instead of YouTube. So I like...
Love that, though. I thought it was hilarious.
My only regret is that I curse in the opening sketch. I say the F word.
Right.
And I have a couple of sexual... I'm pretty clean anyway, but
right.
I have a joke about a butt plug on the end of... I wish I wouldn't have done those.
Really?
I wish I kept it clean. It's just better for marketing purposes. Like, I've had a few auditions for America's Got Talent, and I don't know what they've looked at, what they haven't, but I spoke to the producer, and I've been through the process. Now it's just a waiting game. I'll know by the end of the month.
Right.
They don't tip their hat about anything. Like, it's not the right phrase, is it? Tip your hand? What's the word? What are you not tipping? When you don't give it away. Is it tip? I'm not going to show their hand? Tip their hand?
Show their hand.
Show their hand?
They're not going to give anything away.
Okay, the next podcast was going to be just on that phrase. We're
English.
Gonna figure it out. English. So whatever the phrase is, they're not giving anything away to me to let me know. So it's just you just wait.
Yeah, right.
That's a weird experience.
I bet.
Like the audition, because the first one was just me submitting. You send tapes in and then you email.
Right.
But then they're like, you should do it virtually because we got a better feel for your personality. And then you call in, and the audition, it's like. It's you in front of like your iPad. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You're just you in front of an iPad, and you see it's a producer.
Yep.
So they're like, all right. I'm John Ziegler. I'm 55. I'm from Long Island. I'm a comedian. And they're like, oh, awesome, John. I go, do I just start? They're like, yep, go.
Yep.
And you're like, so I live in a basement. You just do your act to a producer who has a blank face.
Blank face.
But what I didn't know is all the other people auditioning, they all see you.
Yes.
So I was watching other people's auditions. And some people were very talented. It's all different cat. It's not comics. Like some girl was a singer. She was really talented. There was a comic that went on. After watching him, I'm like, I'm going to crush it.
Yeah.
It was rough. He looked uncomfortable.
I did it. I did it too. I did it in here. I set the iPad up
so you know
right
exactly
here,
what I'm
and I
referring
stood
to.
and same thing, and very cold, just very business. Okay. And they would, and same thing. I watched the other, and I didn't know that either. But so I'm sitting there, and I'm like all nervous. So I'm thinking it's my turn. But all of a sudden they call somebody else's name. I'm like, first,
and you can see him.
yes.
So that makes it worse, right?
But there was that split second where I thought, did I screw this up? Do they think I'm somebody else? Like, what's going on? Then all of a sudden I see this other guy. I'm like, oh shit, we can all see each other.
It was weird.
Like, oh, and the same thing. There was a singer, but but they only wanted like a minute. It was very.
I did 90 seconds.
Was it 90? Okay.
And then she says to me, I stop. I go, that's 90, right? She goes, 83 seconds. You have 7 seconds left. I go, yeah, okay. I don't have a 7-second joke. I go, she goes, but they tell us 90 seconds. But she goes, you're rocking and rolling. If you want to do another 30, you can do another 30.
Oh, nice.
So I go, well, do you want me to do another 30? She goes, well, do you want to do another joke? I go, well, you're the producers. You tell me, should I do another joke? And she goes, well, if you feel comfortable. I go, I feel like I'm trying to get dinner with my girlfriend. Like I go, I'll just make an executive decision here. I'm going to do a joke.
Right.
And then I did the joke. And as soon as I logged off, I go, I shouldn't have done the joke. Like I had a pretty good audition.
Yeah, right.
That was look, I've been doing this a long time. I was a little nervous because it's not normal.
Right.
It almost made me grateful for a global pandemic. Because I was forced to do Zoom shows during the pandemic.
Right.
So this wasn't so foreign to me.
Yeah.
If that was my first time ever doing that, it would have been really weird.
Right.
So I had I was doing 40-minute sets on Zoom.
Wow. Yeah.
I tried one standing up once. I did a temple gig during Zoom, and I tried to make like a backdrop and stand up in my living room. Like I was just like performing to an iPad in my kitchen. It was so weird. So I felt like it wasn't as weird as it would have been.
Right.
If we didn't have a pandemic. Thank God for those pandemics.
There's a positive from the whole thing. Yeah, that was weird. And they gave me the 90 minutes. Okay, thank you. And there was no
I didn't even know I can log off afterwards. I watched another performer, and I just kind of put my finger on a button and was like, I guess I'll go. Like, I don't know if he said anything.
I watched another person or two just out of curiosity, and I actually finished feeling pretty confident. I do a lot of stuff with my leg in my act, and I'm thinking, maybe this, like, again, the card, the leg card, like maybe they'll see a feel-good story. But no, I never heard.
Did no cancer material. My submission that they liked was all cancer jokes.
Okay.
So I had a friend who's done the show. And she's a relationship to some of the producers, and she kind of got my tape to a producer, so I kind of bypassed some of the process a little bit.
That's cool.
And then they liked me, and they wrote me, and they were like, but we want to see you virtually. So we want to see you. And it was kind of cool. My producer actually had seen me before.
Oh, wow.
As soon as she goes, I've seen your clips, like on Facebook or wherever. So
right.
I was like, oh.
Nice.
But it was really weird. Like, as I was logging off, I'm like, remember, I have cancer. And I'm getting married. Whatever backstory you need.
That's how you be known, right? Jackie the Joke Man Martin, John Cancer Ziegler.
Yeah, you don't want to be, but it's like, I'd love to be on the show. I'd be very excited
yeah, of
if
course.
I got it. Like, I'm nervous now because I'm having the surgery March 29th, and like we're gonna call you end of March. You got to fly to Pasadena.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm like, I can't put a bag in an overhead.
Right.
Like, I can't lift my arms out. Like, I'm gonna have to bring somebody with me.
Yeah.
To like carry my luggage if I have to go.
Boy.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty like, but I'm not missing this.
Right.
Over
yeah.
a hernia surgery. Like,
right.
It's a lot of eyes on you.
Well, yeah, we had Tom Cotter in here, man. He, what it did for him.
I want to win. Tom came in second. Tom Cotter's a super nice guy. He doesn't know me. He may remember me. I've worked with him before. Very nice guy. But I opened for him once at McGuire's, and he talks about he came in second on the show. But
right,
he lost to a dog act. And there was a lady who had an emotional support dog sitting in the front row with like a big collie at the show, and he just looked. He's like, "What are you kidding me?" Like, it was really funny. Like, the odds are, as he lost to a dog act. That was before I watched the show.
Oh, okay.
But Tom's built for that show because if you know his act, it's setup, punch, short, rapid fire.
Yes.
He's very likable. So he's 90 seconds for me is 2 jokes.
Yeah, I hear you. Right.
That's it.
Yep.
I was going over 90 with a lot of my jokes.
Yeah.
I don't really do setup punch jokes.
Right. I'm the same way. I try.
I had the cancer ones were a little shorter, but I didn't want to do like on my live audition, do like 2 cancer jokes. That's a little weird.
Yeah, but I could see doing that because you want to hope that they'll take the cancer thing and run with it.
I mean, they have my info because you fill out,
right.
remember the questionnaire, and I've already submitted. So, we'll see. If I get it, great, and if I don't, oh well.
But I'm going to disagree though about cursing and being like the heavy metal band or the punk band.
That's a bit.
That's a great
yeah,
joke.
But part of me wishes I didn't. I wanted to name my special that. You guys curse in it? Can I say what?
Yeah, of course.
So they told me I have my semen will be contaminated from the chemo. So
right.
the joke is about I have toxic cum, and I go, it's gross, but it's a good name for a metal band.
And you got a round of applause on that joke.
I thought of T-shirts with like the dripping like toxic cum, but it's like the Toxic Avenger like spray with like tour dates on the back. I wanted to name my special Toxic Cum. It's a great name for a special.
It's hilarious.
Pete was like, yeah, probably not a good idea. Like,
right.
It's going to limit your,
Absolutely, right off the bat.
Middle
right.
of them, I was like, yeah, we're not watching that.
Right.
Like, I've had people write, because I did a dry bar comedy special. I shot 5 years ago. They released it the week before my special came out.
Oh,
so
jeez.
it sat in a can for 5 years.
I've heard they do that. I didn't know that happened to you.
But they're like, hey, John, we're almost done with the editing on your special. And I wrote back, I go, I hope so. I go, Apocalypse Now didn't take this long. I go, what are you editing for 5 years?
My goodness.
So,
5 years.
But, you get a million views on those things. So, like, it's all wholesome, clean, family friendly. So then they go to my special, and I'm like, so I got toxic cum. And some people from Dry Bar had meltdowns.
Oh, really?
A few people would write, they'd be like, says the F word at a minute 32. Like, they were writing comments under my thing. But thank God I got a legion of loyal fans who just attack them.
I mean, fine, I could see taking the F-bomb out, but toxic cum, you just, you talk, I mean, you could, I don't know, you're not sitting there talking about, I came all over this girl's face. You know what I mean? Like, it's not
word.
like,
it's
right.
Comes like it's a shocking word.
Right,
You know
but
what I mean? So I think it's a funny joke.
It's a great joke. Great joke.
And I think the other part of it is when after I finish chemo, she says to me, "Do you have any questions?" I'm like, "Can I come on people again? Like, is it?"
Right.
And so it's dirty, but funny.
Yeah, but it's
But
not like
I regret doing it because I think it just makes me, people could like, I'm in some hospital groups or like pancreatic survivor groups that have 10,000 members and they want to share my special. And I'm like, ooh, like they don't want that in there. So, and I'm not going to go start editing my special
right.
and sending the
So you tell them, hey, I mean, it's rated R, but
they're adults.
Hey, right. That's exactly where I was going with this. Give me a break. It's not like the whole special is full of that stuff.
No, it's so, and that's the other thing. And I had somebody tell me that they're like, it's like it doesn't fit with me. It's like 30 minutes of wholesome. Like I went to Chinese restaurant, and next thing you know, you're like, so my cum's toxic.
Yeah,
it's like a weird. I don't think it is.
I'm not going to say it doesn't fit because I thought it was great, and you say it by the time you come out with that joke, you're more than halfway through, so
yes,
we're comfortable with you. We like it. It wasn't like, oh my God, John Ziegler said that. Like it doesn't have that effect.
I didn't have a lot of time to really analyze my set or think through or get feedback from people because I had to whip this together.
Right.
So yeah, again, hindsight. There's a lot of things I might have changed. I opened my special with 5 COVID jokes.
Right.
Which I cut out.
Right.
Because I'm like, hey, by the time COVID's over, I'm tired of hearing about COVID.
Yeah.
And I find most COVID jokes a little hacky. We know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have an original take on them. Like I watched Mike Vecchione do something about the vaccine, and I was literally belly laughing. I just went to the Stress Factory to see him. And he did a thing about the vaccines that nobody's done anything close to what he was doing, and it was so funny. And I don't care that the pandemic's kind of over. It's really funny.
Sure.
So I wrote some jokes, but I'm like, I don't think I want to talk about this anymore. I thought it'd be good to open with them. So I cut them, and I just opened with stuff about my mother.
Right.
I never did this before. So you're like, do I open with my strongest stuff? Because if people don't like me the first 3 minutes, they may log out.
Right.
I watched Chris D'Elia, who I'm not a big fan of, or I've never met him. But I heard him talking. I thought it was interesting. That when he shot his special, like Netflix has done like research studies, that most people log out of a special at like 20 minutes.
Okay.
That's like most people watch a special for 20 minutes and they log out. So he would open with like all his best stuff. And he goes, the last 20 minutes was like crowd work.
Wow.
Because a lot of people disappear anyway. So I had people write me like, when does he talk about the cancer? Because it was like 21 minutes in. Right. But like 15 minutes, people were like, hey, he hasn't mentioned cancer.
Wow.
I'm like, I'm getting to it.
Right. Holy shit.
So it's a hard thing to do. So what is this thing we're on? What is this? Twitch? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Twitch. It's like we had MySpace, and then eventually all of us old people, we took over Facebook, and then we took over Instagram. It's the next latest and greatest.
Because I know these guys who are doing live comedy shows where people just it goes out live on Twitch, and then people just kind of roast them.
Oh, Door Court.
Yeah, Door Court.
Yeah.
Kid Miguel Silva's running it.
Yeah.
So I went and watched one.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing it. I'm like, but the comics have a good, they go up there and they know they're going to get beat down.
Yeah. I'm hearing. I mean, everybody that comes in brings it up. I got to reach out to these guys and have them in here and talk about it.
He's a real nice kid, Miguel.
It sounds fantastic.
I think he's living in Brooklyn, but good guy. And I don't know. He has a partner. I think he does with.
I
don't know the other guy.
Drew. Oh, it's right here. Drew Flores and Miguel Silva.
Yeah, I haven't met him, but Miguel I know. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
I went to. They did one at the Alibi in Farmington.
Right. They streamed that one live. Yeah.
They did it live, and I went and watched a few of the comics, and it's a little cringeworthy.
Yes.
But it's fun. It's fun to watch. I like watching people get crucified.
Right. Well, that was who was telling me. It might have been Hugh Murray. I think it was Hugh Murray was telling me.
Yeah, he was there that night too.
Yes. In fact, he was one that told me you're in town. So he's
well,
like,
that's kind of how this happened. I bumped into you, and he's an old friend.
So Hugh was telling me that it's weird because you're doing the show, but everybody's looking at their phone to see what the comments are. Yeah. So they're not really paying attention so much, and they're all buried in. So you're getting beat up for your act, and the audience isn't even really paying attention to you.
It was weird to watch, but that's how I know what this is. So when I was coming in, I looked at a post. You tagged me in a post, and I looked, and I saw live on Twitch. I'm like, am I about to get roasted?
Oh, no.
Knock him dead?
No, nothing like that at all.
Not that I care.
Brian Paul, if you share your toxic cum with another cancer patient, does it count as treatment? No, so yeah, Twitch is just the latest. It was a gaming site for a long time. People would, play and they can talk to each other and see each other. But it has expanded. And I don't know if you happen to know, he does comedy in the city, Nathan Norton.
I don't.
Okay, so he came in here once, and he brought his girlfriend, and it turned out his girlfriend does marketing and social media for the WWE.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So we had a great show, had a great time with him. Nathan's a good guy. So she tells me after the show, you got to go on Twitch, and this is the place to be, and there's money to be made, and all these, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, I'll give it a shot, I'll see what happens. And so I started doing research, and this is one of those platforms where, you watch some guy for 3 hours smoking a cigarette. Or there was the ones that got me, there was this one kid, 21-year-old kid. He had 2 TVs behind him. One had Fox News, the other one had CNN. And he's just commenting on what they're talking about and picking on both of them. And this guy had almost 500,000 subscribers, and at the minute I was watching, it was like 10,000 people were watching him. I'm like, what the fuck? And then there was another guy, a truck driver, drives cross country. He sets up a GoPro, which is the cameras we have, and he has it facing out. So it's going through the windshield. You're basically seeing what he sees. That's his whole thing. That's the whole show. And thousands of people are watching this because, you can see the numbers. I'm like, this guy is just showing you what he's seeing through his windshield, and thousands of people watching this. So, and then I talked to one guy who asked to remain anonymous, but he does a show on Twitch. I don't know if it's true or not, but he told me that last year he made over $70,000 just on his Twitch show.
Yeah, you can monetize it. I'm a couple of hundred YouTube subscribers away.
Nice.
From being able to monetize my special. Yeah. It could be, residual checks for 78 cents. I have no idea what it is, but I need so there's I just don't understand.
I don't get it either.
I got on Instagram 5 days before my special came out because I'm like, I should have an Instagram account so people can follow me.
Right.
I just don't like any of this stuff. I'm 55. I grew up watching Kinnison.
Right.
And, Dice in the 80s. I'm an old school comic
in
terms of I love the craft of comedy. And you have to assimilate it, you die. I understand this is the future, but I'm like Clint Eastwood on my porch. I'm like, kids with these streaming services. I've become that guy.
I don't mind the streaming services, and I don't even mind.
I hate them.
I don't mind even just like 30-second videos on TikTok, but when we were growing up, the point of a 30-second video was it's a teaser so you can go watch the hour show. In 30 seconds, you're not getting quality content. You're getting, animals doing something or a guy tripping.
I hate it. If I quit comedy tomorrow, I would delete Facebook and Instagram immediately. I would never be on. I wouldn't miss it. I think it's a healthier world without it. But I need it, even as little as I use it. It's a contact. People can follow me.
Right.
People look at you like you're a serial killer. If they're like, can I follow you on TikTok? I'm like, I'm not on TikTok. They're like, do you kill hookers? That's weird.
Yes.
I'm like, is it?
Right.
That I don't want to dance in my underwear in my living room.
Right.
And post it.
I hear you. I do. I enjoy, when I first went on it, I reconnected with so many people I hadn't seen in years, and so many memories came flooding back, and now I'm close to some people that I wouldn't have been close to 40 years ago, but so I enjoy it for that reason, and I like seeing what one of my friends' kids just graduated college or whatever they're accomplishing and what's going on in their lives. I enjoy that. But then you have so many that ruin it with, the politics or, they want to just say something to offend.
Yeah, just an opinion. You have your opinion. I'm an expert.
But I just keep scrolling, and I try not to let that stuff bother me because I still want to enjoy it. If I'm living in bumfuck Pennsylvania, it's the only way I'm going to keep up with people.
There's a girl in the city. She's a comic. I never met her. I don't know her. I don't know her stand-up. I don't know, somehow, it's comics, but somehow we're friends on Facebook. But some guy trolled her, and the guy who trolled is a comic. But he's like, I looked at his reels. He's like you can tell he's an open micer. I'm watching. He's brand new.
Yeah.
But they had a fight, like a public fight. I might as well have had popcorn.
Right.
I was very into this whole. Now, I'm a voyeur. I just watch. Nobody knows I'm like, ooh, this is.
You're waiting for the next comment.
Oh, I does. I see the dots. I'm like, ooh.
And it's true. When you first got on Facebook, I used to get involved in these fights.
No, I don't get involved.
I stopped doing that years ago, and now I do the same. I just sit back and watch now and see where it goes and take pride in the fact that it has nothing to do with me.
Yeah, I don't want any part of that stuff. And you're never going to change anybody's mind. That's one thing that's never happened on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So this is kind of cool. People comment. And,
yeah, people comment, and we can see it, and we were fortunate. We have a loyal group. They all followed us to Twitch. They came over. A lot of them opened Twitch accounts just because we were here. So I don't know. I mean, it hasn't taken off, but
it's new.
It's
we'll
new,
see.
right? I've been doing it. Well, actually, I've been on here. We've been doing the show on Twitch since September. So
It's not long.
it's not long, but
4
it's
months,
not
5 months.
Yeah, but it's not brand new either. So I don't know.
Also, I don't know. I know a lot of people don't watch them live. Do you post these and then they?
Yeah,
watch
I'll put it
them-
on YouTube
Yeah, and then they watch
right
them
after,
after the
right.
fact and stuff like that.
And that too. You got to go all these different places and how many views, how long did they view for? Read all these analytics, and it's exhausting.
I have an idea for I would like to do a podcast.
Yeah.
For 2 reasons: is one, I would like to get more exposure for myself, but even more than that, I think it's just fun.
It is fun.
I enjoy it. I like rapping, and it really helps me just talking like this, like we're rapping.
Yeah.
I found I've written a lot of bits by going on a friend's podcast, and we start just bullshit
Yep.
about some random topic. Then I go home, I go, that's pretty funny.
Yep.
So I actually, it's a good way for me to write instead of going to an open mic.
Right.
It's like almost like I can pick my own guest and do that. So
Right.
I thought about doing one here when I move back. Because
say when.
I'm a monkey. I'm not gonna set up a whole thing in my house, and it's not gonna happen. I couldn't get it on. I wouldn't know what to do. I'd be
Right.
frustrated.
Yeah.
I just want to come in where somebody does. I just talk and somebody does everything.
I'm here.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to do.
Sounds good to me.
I have an idea for one.
Okay.
Yeah. That,
Whenever you're ready, I'll be more than happy to get involved in that. And it's funny. Again, talking about Hugh Murray, we were in here a few weeks because Hugh's been coming in. He comes in.
So got a trivia. You guys are doing
Yeah,
trivia?
Tuesday trivia. I mean, I know it's hacky, but they love it, and we have fun with it.
All right, trivia. It's fun.
Yeah, so he comes in every Tuesday trivia. So he was in, I guess it was like a month or so ago, and he started telling me about, he was up in the Giga room, and he did something about, he was talking about something about transgender and all the topical stuff that's going on right now, and all that's going on, and somebody went up to him afterwards and called him a racist for picking on the transgender community.
I don't think that's the right word.
Well, that's exactly why he brought it up, because he said, I'm not, he goes, that's not the right word. I'm not racist. He goes, and trans people, he goes, they're not from somewhere. He goes, so it's not racist. He goes, they're not from Transylvania. I lost it. I thought that was hilarious. And now he's developing that into a bit. Trans people from Transylvania.
The funniest thing is, if you know Hugh Murray and you've seen his act, if you watch Hugh Murray's act and that's the bit that offended you,
Right. Yes.
that's the kid he tells that, when he goes to school to his niece's class, and that's the joke he'll tell there. That's the good joke. That's the least offensive Hugh Murray joke.
And he said, the person then said, all right, fine, you're a bigot. And he said, yeah, I'll take that.
I'll
I'm
tell
fine
him
with that.
Yeah, at least if you're going to insult me, get it right.
But the Transylvania, I thought that was hilarious. And now he's working that into a bit. Rodia, when he used to have a show in here, he had his father on the phone one day, and they were fighting back and forth. The father couldn't figure out how to fix his TV remote. It was dead. He was like, well, Anthony's like, change the batteries. And his father didn't even know how to do that. And so he got him to open up the remote in the back, but then the father didn't know how to read what kind of battery it is. So he didn't know what he needed. So Anthony's like,
AAA, AA.
right. So that's what Anthony says. Well, what does it say? He goes, do you see letters like A, B? The father goes, I see like that. Like he was reading the AAA. Instead of saying AAA, he went Holy shit, we were crying. Now Anthony has turned that into a bit. I've seen him do that a few times. It comes from just organically in here.
My mother had a trouble with the TV remote when she was starting to, and I was like, "Mom, just do." And I lived close to her.
Right.
I was like, "I'll just come over," because he's 4 hours on the phone with her. I go, "Just come over. I'll fix it." And I go over, and she's trying to change the TV with the telephone. I go, "I see the problem here."
Yeah, right. I'm no expert, but
oh, that's why that's not working. And it wasn't a cordless even. It's on a cord connected to a base unit.
I had a friend of mine, I don't know why, he's got an old mother, and I don't know why she was outside cleaning the snow off her car. I don't, for whatever reason, why nobody wasn't helping her, but she couldn't find the brush. So she eventually finds one, and she's wiping the car off. But my buddy went there to go help her. He didn't, in fact, if I remember right, he didn't even know she was out there doing the car. Turns out the brush she found was one of those metal brushes that you use to scrape your barbecue. So she's scratching the glass the whole time. So I'm like racking my brain, like there's a bit in there somewhere. There's a joke there that I want to, make it into a joke. I just haven't tried it yet, but I haven't figured one out yet. But I keep picturing this woman.
I find when you get old and you lose that, you go back to when you were young.
Yes.
So she was probably a lady whose boyfriend cheated on her, and she was just called she carved slut in his car or something like that. Just took her back to her teenage days.
Back when you could do that.
When you can, yeah.
Does she flip burgers with the windshield wiper? Yeah, probably.
Yep.
The last time I sat around for a while to bullshit, I wound up with a joke about a cow.
Who is that from?
Bullshit. That's from nobody. Andrew Fremder is his name. We pick on him daily for comments like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's yeah. So
it is a good way though. I've watched comics, so I'll leave nameless, who are pretty famous, and I've listened to their podcast, and next thing you know, I go watch their stand up, and I know that came from the podcast.
Right. Yeah. It does bother me because trying to turn this studio into something, that was one of the downsides. Well, there were many downsides to the pandemic, but that's everybody was home, so that's when everybody was buying microphones and a camera, and that's when everybody was doing a podcast in their basement. Totally oversaturated the whole thing. Definitely set things back in here for quite a while. So now I'm just kind of, we're doing our thing in here, and I'm just kind of waiting as now they're dying off again because not everybody has the time for it anymore.
I did one right before the pandemic. I started it right before. I went out and bought I committed. I bought equipment. I spent a lot of money. I bought this Rode Podcaster Pro.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I went out. A nice setup, and I was doing it with Mike Calcagno.
Oh, okay.
And it was around stand up, what we were gonna do, but then a pandemic hit.
Right.
And I'm like, well, we can't go. There's no place to do stand up.
Right.
Talk about what we want to talk about.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? So we started coming up with top 5. It became we were desperate for things to talk about.
Yep.
But then, he has a wife and stuff like that. And he's like, you're not coming in my house. There's a pandemic. So I was calling in, which I hate.
Yep.
It's always a bad reception and it's a discount. I don't like it
I
didn't enjoy it.
Right.
So we just kind of bailed on it. And then I sold the equipment.
Right.
Let me get some money back. I'm never going to do because I'm not going to do it without Mike. Mike's the technical one.
Okay.
He's pretty good at getting it up.
Is he still?
He had a baby and got a promotion at work. And,
right.
He misses. I know he misses comedy.
But
he
was great too, man.
Very fun. Very funny guy. And,
but is he still in the area?
Yeah. He's a house.
For some reason I thought he moved to Florida.
No, not at all.
Oh,
he's married. He's got a baby, but he's got a promotion at work. His business. Works in the vitamin business.
Oh, okay.
Doubled. The business doubled. Everybody was like, "What if I take multivitamins? I won't die of COVID." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah. Well, if you're Mike, you say yes.
Yeah.
Yes, this will help you.
I love all these guys that were 370 pounds and smoke a pack a day, and they're like, "What if I take a fish oil?" I'm like, "Okay."
Those are the same ones saying they're not going to wear a mask. But they're
Yes.
or they're saying we should wear a mask. But
so his business, while everybody else was working from home or out of work, he was working more hours.
Yeah.
And he got a promotion. He's doing really well at work, and he loves his kid. So damn cute. He's got a beautiful little baby boy, baby Joey.
Well, he's got a good-looking wife, so.
She's a sweetheart, too.
Yeah.
So good people. But will he come back in the comedy one day? I said, yeah, we'll see you in about 13 years when your kid's at SUNY Buffalo. Like, when are you doing comedy, dude?
And you need to get, a couple extra bucks to pay for a book.
Yeah, exactly. So, real funny guy. Sometimes the people I wish would quit stay around forever. And then the guys like Mike.
I hear you. Yeah. That's as far as I'm going on that one.
Yeah,
but
so some guys, I'm like, what's going to take for you to go away?
Yeah, I got to leave that one
I saw
alone.
a guy at a show, and I had a friend who came out and watched the show, and this guy was on it. Then the kid looks at me and goes, I saw so-and-so set. I go, yeah. And he goes, maybe this isn't his thing. And I was like, that's from a guy who does nothing about comedy. He just said it so kindly. He goes, maybe this isn't his thing.
If it's somebody I'm close to and they'll say, I saw so-and-so, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. Now, so what? So you saw the show at Alibi, but are you doing shows? Why?
I'm always working. I'm doing a lot more privates these days.
Oh yeah.
I make a lot.
They do. They pay.
They pay a lot more money.
Yeah.
Let's not even close. The clubs are great because there's an energy in a club you can't get. My
Yes.
gigs are a little bit of hell gigs.
Yep.
I love being at the club. Like being here, being in that main room when it's sold out. Love it.
Yep.
I don't care. The money's not whatever. It's money, but I'm not here for that. I'm here to when I'm either I get the headline or I'm opening for a guy who's more successful than me that is cool to hang with, or it's an old friend I haven't seen in 5 years because you don't cross paths. See, when you first start out, you're all on the same level.
Right.
You're all on shows together. But when you start headlining, the other guys are headlining. Like, you don't work with other headliners.
Right. Yeah, true.
Because you won a show, so you don't get to see these people a lot.
Yeah.
So it's not something that's 4 years go by and you get to work with an old friend and open. It's great. So I miss the clubs, but I also got bills to pay.
Of course.
I'm looking to live in a crawl space or a fruit cellar in Farmingdale for $6,000 a month. So I need to make money.
He's looking to move back to Long Island. Got to make some money.
So I'm doing these privates, but
you're up here currently because of some private gigs?
I'm doing a private thing tonight.
Nice.
I think I'm doing it in somebody's house on Saturday night.
Wow.
Then I'm in Jersey with Mike Keegan next Thursday, which, again, that's an example. I don't really work with Keegan that often.
Yeah.
Once a year. And I love hanging out with Mike, so we're going to have a good time. We'll drive up together.
Mike's a fun guy.
Yeah, we'll have a good hang.
Yep.
And drive back together. It'll be a fun night.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to doing that.
That's cool.
And I think it's going to be a good, I don't know, but I think it's, the woman who produces this, all her gigs have been good. Everything I've done for her is always like a good show.
So, and the thing with Keegan, that's a public thing or no?
I don't even know where it is.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not like something in Jersey. I think it's a winery. I'm not even sure.
Oh, okay.
So it's public, but I don't know where. I don't have any information yet.
Right. Okay. All right. So what are we? Because we're gonna go. So what are
yeah.
we pushing? We're pushing the special, right? Getting my affairs in order on YouTube.
That's it.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah,
well
that's
then.
really it. Getting my affairs. John Ziegler comedy. So Instagram, everything's John Ziegler comedy.
Right. Okay. Excellent. Very nice. So getting my affairs in order. Go to YouTube. Go check that out. Go check out John Ziegler comedy.
And subscribe. I need money.
Exactly.
I don't care if you ever come back. Just subscribe.
So there you go. So that's it for us for today. So our apologies. Last night we were supposed to have Circling the Drain, and we were supposed to have Why You Like This with Carla and Rich and Tim. Circling the Drain, out of the 4 hosts, I believe 2 of them ended up getting sick. And then Why You Like This, I believe one of them was sick last night too. So neither one of those shows happened last night.
It's good to know I'm sitting in an incubator right now. It's good to know I have surgery in 7 days.
No, none of them were here. Okay. None of them were here. This was all well in advance that they said they weren't coming. So yeah, no, they hadn't been here since last week. Oh my goodness. Let's see. But today is Thursday. So tonight we have a bonus Donversations playing for you. We do have Donversations in its usual time slot tomorrow night at 8. But Donversations special tonight at 8 o'clock. Tomorrow, me and Andy Plajanos, we got Chris Monty zooming in. Chris, again, his daughters have been sick, so he can't come in. But he's going to zoom in, and it's always fun with Chris. And then Monday, Marla Schultz and Laura Patton will be here. Talk about a fun show. Tuesday, I think Hugh will be here, but Joe Carletto is joining us. Joe is one of the owners of Governors. He's been on here before, and you guys always ask when he's coming back. He's a funny guy. I don't know if you've ever hung out with Joe.
Not hung out with him, but I know him.
Holy shit.
From the clubs.
He's funny, man.
Funny and super nice guy. What a good dude.
They're all great here.
Yeah.
Really, they treat everybody super, super nice. Brian Paul has been commenting. He's joining us next Thursday. So we got a lot going on. So, so keep it tuned here on the Twitch or on our YouTube channel. John Ziegler Comedy. Thank you, pal.
Thank you, guys.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, man.
All the best on the 29th. And like I've been telling you guys, we've got a lot of great shows here. And coming up very soon, we're still working out a date, but we have been recording Mark Riccadonna and Richie Byrne, Jokes, Jokes, and Storytelling, coming soon to Gov's podcast. And I'm going to leave you with a little teaser of that, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. See ya.
Bartlett, ladies and gentlemen.
Rob Bartlett! Rich Voss is here. Rich Voss.
Mark DeMeo right here. How about it, Mark DeMeo?
Jim Grumpier.
Carrie Carabas.
Chris Roach, everybody.
Chris Roach. Give it up to Lisa Lampanelli. How about it?
Lisa.
Yay! Richie Benavides.
Don Jameson.
Oh, yeah. The only Vanessa Hollingshead. How about it? Woo!
Rick Overton's
Yes, Rick Overton.
Hey.
Mr. Joey Cola. How about that?
Joey Cola is. Oh boy, he already forgot. He already forgot us on. That's how old he is. He was. Hey Joey. Joey.
Well, I hear them, but I don't see them.
Joey. We're inside the china cabinet.
Well, look to your left, to your right, or wherever. I don't know. It's back.
Hey,
There
we're
he
on
is.
your computer.
Hey.
Oh, there you are!